Hello, welcome to another episode of Commode Chronicles. If my demeanor seems slightly more subdued than it generally is, it's because I am feeling vastly unwell at the moment. I am a cancer survivor and I had chemo. And the chemo, one of the things that I had was chemo. Chemo, it fucked up my taste buds really bad. So I was a really picky eater growing up, and I made a concerted effort into adulthood and for decades of being, having sort of a global tongue, if you will. Sounds like a double entendre. But in being able to handle a certain amount of spice and a variety of seasonings and plenty of different types of preparations. And cancer stripped all of that away. Yesterday, my daughter and I had a joint birthday party because we're both November babies. And at the restaurant, I ordered a steak. I haven't had steak in a really long time, so it felt like a treat. And of course, I can't really eat that much anymore, even though I'm chubby. I don't eat that much in one sitting anyway. So the steak was massive, and I had leftovers, which I just ate. And they were delicious. I enjoyed it. My body is telling me, bitch, we did not enjoy that. And furthermore, what we do not enjoy, we will not keep down. So, I have pain from my cancer. I had colon cancer, and the tumor was deep. I'm making all these hand gestures off camera. The tumor was deep in my abdomen, and it was a very complicated area. There was a lot of muscle and what have you around where the tumor was, and they did the best they could to remove it. It was more important to remove all of the offending tissue. But ever since my surgery, I have had this pain. And it feels like I've got food poisoning. Although right now my body's telling me, So it feels like food poisoning. I have an ostomy. I have an ileostomy, which is a little bag that comes, they took my small bowel and they put a little slit in the side of it. If you think of it as bicycle inner tubing, you just put a little slit in the side, and then you tuck that slitted part outside of the skin and sew it up. Now, the ileostomy has no nerves or anything like that, so I don't feel it. I have to be gentle not to smack it or when I'm cleaning it or anything, because it will bleed profusely. It's very fragile, and I won't feel it. So everything that I eat comes out in my bag. And I don't have food poisoning. I have the stupid cramping. But because of the way it feels, it forces me. I do that lip thing. That bugs me. When I watch my videos back, I'm always like, I am You're the snake, but why so literal? Why so literal? Because of the quality of the sensation, the pain, it's very difficult for me to not come in the bathroom and sit on the toilet. But I'm just sitting here. Sometimes I manage to lay on my side and go fetal in such a way that I can kind of minimize it. But 9 times out of 10, I have to sit here. And yesterday I spent 4+ hours on the toilet. I did 6.5 hours one day. Well over an hour is super common for me. though it is not every day, thankfully. So as I'm sitting here, like, okay, well, I'm going to cruise the web and I'll check out what's on TikTok while I try and get these cramps to subside. And ye old Tum said, "We have a message for you. We do not appreciate what you gave us." Now, I certainly hope that it's just my olfactory being picky. Because the other thing, the other thing that can happen is I start to feel this way when I have a small bowel obstruction. My small bowel gets obstructed, and so nothing comes out of my ileum at all. It's very dangerous. Severe caustic gastric juices back up from your liver, so you get bile, dark green bile, darker than the skin of a lime, more like the skin of an avocado. Dark green bile from your liver starts to, I'm in pain, starts to back up into your stomach, and it can make you very sick. I had one in July. It was like my 10th, 11th one, something like that. I think my 10th one. And I had not had one since 2019, so I thought maybe my body just wasn't going to do that anymore. But in July, I spent a week getting my stomach pumped. They give you what's called an NG tube. And it's... there's no banana for scale. It's almost as big as your TikTok record button. Not quite that big, almost. And they give you the heaviest, the thickest one they can manage to shove in you because they want to get that liquid out of you as quickly as possible. It goes up your nose, freckles on my finger. It goes up your nose and down the back of your throat. And it's a 2-step thing to put it in because it has to go into your stomach, not into your windpipe. So if they stick it just up your nose and keep shoving, it's going to go in your windpipe. So they give you a little cup of water, and they get it all the way up to like here, and then they go, okay, and you get all in position. They go, okay, drink, and you drink, and when you swallow, they can go and shove it all the way down. They do measure beforehand, like based on the size of your torso and whatever, so they know how much they need to stick into your stomach, and then they hook it up to one of those things that you see on the back of the wall in the hospitals. There's like gauges and things. Well, one of those is specifically for the stomach pumping device. They stick a huge canister underneath it, stick the hose on top, open her up like a pressure cooker, and it starts to vacuum out your insides. And I am really, really, really hoping. I've been so good. I'm really hoping that's not what this is, because the NG tube hurts. And it's 4 or 5 days with no food or water, nothing by mouth. It's agony.